Hey everybody, Ken Plume here, and welcome to another edition of Force 5. This is the show where I have a very special guest on, and we discuss their top 5 Star Wars collectibles from within their personal collection. And we'll talk about why they're there, what the ranking is, because I'm gonna make them rank them and make
Oh
them choose a
no!
favorite. I'm gonna make them choose a favorite.
I did not realize that. Yes.
Yeah. You know what? For people who have watched the show, they never pick up on that, and that's always the thing coming into this. So my guest today is an incredible podcaster, personality, big bold letters on personality, a co-host of the Bombad Cast.
That's right.
Scotty Jayro, welcome to Force 5.
I am honored, and for the most part, I was saying this before we even click record, but like, I am not a collector. Like, I mean, I look at your background, I'm like, oh my god, this person is legit. You know what I mean? Ken is legit. Like, I can see the Star Tours. I can see the Star Tours
accumulation.
Is that the Star Tours? Is that Star Tours or is that Captain EO? The 3D goggles over your left shoulder.
That is Muppet Vision 3D.
Okay, that's the thing. You know,
that's why Gonzo's holding them.
Okay, now that makes sense. Now I see that. Yes, I see that now. But I've always wanted to have something that I could walk in and see something like what you have in your background. And I mean that genuinely. Like, it's like there's something to be said about people that love it and take care of it and are passionate about it. Mine is more minimalist for the most part, and my objects in front of me, like, this is not one of them. But like, I do like the weird oddities. Like, I have my fuzzball from the Captain EO toy line that came out in Disney Park. So like, there's small things.
Star Wars canon.
Yes. So now it's a Star Wars object. So like, there's things that I gravitate towards that are kind of more niche. Like I have the Favreau figure of him as Paz Vizsla, and then I have the other one as George Lucas as the Stormtrooper. You know, I'm not so much like, I'm not gonna seek the things. If they find me, I will get it. So like, right. Those are the few things.
Business. There's no shame in
no.
Everyone curates their collection as they see fit, and by their means as well,
yes,
which is a very big factor, and their space and just the circumstances of their life. So there is no collection shaming to be had in this show.
No. And what's funny, I could tell you this. I'm sure you've had this happen where you've definitely had it happen where you pre-order something and you just completely forget about it. And then you see like a $90 charge go through and you're like, what the hell is that? What did I buy?
And then suddenly 15 more go through that weren't supposed to ship for another few months.
Okay,
like, no, you lied. You lied to us.
Literally, the one that happened to me most recently is I ordered it's a Moonwatcher looking at the monolith. It's an Entertainment Earth figure. It's from 2001 because that's my favorite movie of all time. And like, I ordered it, and then like it was like 13 months later, completely out of my mind, right? And I was like tight on cash at the time, and all of a sudden that charge just goes through. I'm like, damn it! Well, past me. What are we doing here?
Guess I'm not going to Chili's.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I love this already.
Guess it's a skip month.
Yeah. What can you do?
Well, we'll have to have a deeper conversation about 2001 and 2010 later.
Please.
And my thoughts on that, because I have a lot of delightful thoughts on those two. So your collecting journey, let's just talk about, because you are, I'm going to say it, and in a way that our mutual friend Ken Knapsack would also say it. There's a bit of a gulf in ages between us.
Sure.
So you were significantly younger, out of a different generation. So what was the first thing that you remember liking enough that you wanted to have more of it because you enjoyed, as a kid, like playing with it or just having these items that had an emotional connection for you?
I'm grabbing the thing right now. I'm gonna show it on camera, and I'll say it for the audio listeners, but I'm of the generation that was blessed with Pokemon. So I'm a late 90s kid, I was 5 in 99. So like, you gotta think that's when Pokemon boom happened. That's when, of course, the Phantom Menace boom happened. Beanie Babies. I mean, all those things were so big then, Power Rangers, all of it. But mostly my original collection, I have my cards somewhere and I have all my original cartridges, but it was Pokemon. Pokemon was it. You could get the cards, you can get the VHS tapes, you can get the games, obviously, the N64 games. I mean, it was everywhere. The toys, like I have a whole box of the old, I think it's Toei or Tommy toys, but like it's just that was it for me. And
So how would you rank it though? So, if you had to choose your means of expression for Pokemon that is your favorite, is it the video games? Is it the cards? What is the thing that is the deepest connection for you?
I've been replaying all the original games on my analog pocket, so it's definitely the games. The games give me a greater sense, like, of kind of what shaped my interest. You know what I mean? Like, I still kind of play the same way I did as a 5-year-old. Like, I was really big in leveling up and then going to the next gym, where some kids just want to catch stuff. And then asking for a snack, and then taking a nap.
Yep.
Exactly. And then waking up because I throw it up and pee the bed. I still do that. But no, it happens.
You got to catch it all.
Yes, most certainly. But look, I think it is the games. I think the game has mean a lot to me on it's a hero's journey. Even I know it sounds weird, but like the whole point of the games is you're a kid, you go out on an adventure and you save the world, and everything around me in media at the time gave me the same message. So there's a reason why I like Joseph Campbell so much too now. I just didn't even realize it. So, but yeah, Pokemon was numero uno, Ken. That was it for a minute.
Now I feel I should go into the attic and dig out the Pokemon the movie promotional Pokeball that they sent.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
The Warner Home Video. And gosh, that would have been what, 2000?
2000.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. We can look at the copyright date on this VHS right here. I'm sorry. It would have been 2000. Yeah, Warner Bros. 2000 Home Video. Wow.
So a screening copy of that VHS tape would have been inside that giant Pokeball.
That is so cool. You have one?
Oh, I mean, it may still be inside the Pokeball.
That's dope. That's so cool.
So the next time I'm in my End of Raiders attic, I will take a look and see if I can find the Pokeball.
Or if you're ever in Baton Rouge, you just bring it on over.
Yeah, yeah. But then I have to throw it at you and see if I can.
You got me! Damn, it's over. You own me legally.
Yeah,
son of a gun.
That's how we acquire guests now.
That's
in this podcast age that we're in.
You gotta go find them and catch them. That's beautiful.
And then you have them talk to each other.
Yes.
You create new podcasts with them.
Yes, that's beautiful. I like this. That's the next method. This is it.
So who's your favorite Pokemon? We can't move forward unless you...
Gyarados. Instantly. Gyarados was it. Gyarados, the big dragon blue Pokemon. Gyarados is it. I have a fascination. I think Mew, which was like apparently the origin of all Pokemon. The lore's kind of iffy now, but Mew right there, that was the one that intrigued me the most, because the whole first movie was about Mew, and like where Mewtwo came from. So I think a lot of the things I am deeply interested in now came from me watching those type of stories. So Gyarados and Mew, but Gyarados is number one. Like Gyarados, the red Gyarados is on my team for Pokemon Crystal right now. So
you were, even with Pokemon, deeply invested in the lore.
Okay, funny you say that. I wasn't for a while, and then Gen 4 came out, and Generation 4 was 2006-ish. I was in 5th grade. And when that came out, yes, that's when it was like, oh my God, So
about the time you can have those deeper thoughts and start analyzing.
Literally. That whole game was about the concept of space and time and hell and heaven. It's really weird and deep. And here I am, in 5th grade, like, oh my God, Arceus, the god of all Pokemon. Then they've got Darkrai, the one that eats your dreams. It's just like so metal. It's so cool. And that was it.
I'm going to start making this ranking chart, and I'm going to start connecting all these dots. I'm going to put maps in there too, and
tiers lists. But yeah.
Well, so at what point then did Star Wars enter the picture for you? So Pokemon would have been your first collecting love.
Mm-hmm. Then it was certainly the Phantom Menace, and like I had the N1 Starfighter growing up. There's photos of me with it. I could send them to you if you wanted to just look at them or show them on screen. I had an N64 at the time too. So like, you would put Pokemon Stadium in or Pokemon Snap in, and then you would take out and put Rogue Squadron in. You know what I mean? Or you'd put Pod Racer in, and like, or the Naboo Starfighter game. Like it those things were present.
It really was a golden age for like 36 games that LucasArts released at that time.
I couldn't believe it. And like now we've got a game every 5 years and they're okay. But that's just me.
And there's no print shop.
None. No. None. But
where's
yeah, it was
Andor print studio.
Yeah, come on now. Give it to
Andor
us.
flyers and birthday cards and invitations and
Or
calendars.
just like a simulator, like you just sit in a room with him. You know what I mean? You put your VR goggles on, he just talks to you. Him and you know, I don't know. I be too emo can just be sad in your presence.
It's at a Hampton Inn brunch, like the little breakfast,
Yes.
continental breakfast bar is where you're sitting down with K2SO, and
And he just
he's insulting your muffin choices.
that's right. And I would pay for that. I would give anything for that. But Lucasfilm or Lucas Arts that no longer exist, you know, that's been taken away from us. But you know, all in all, like it was seriously Pokemon, and then instantly it was Star Wars. And I remember being a kid and seeing the Phantom Menace in theaters, only 5, but the pod race scene stands out to me. And like I that whole movie resonates with me on such a deep level, and I know you know that. But like for kids of my generation, it was like we had no idea this was a new thing happening again, because you know the VHSs of the I have the Faces VHSs, I have the special edition VHSs, and like those things were just a part of what I watched like little with my dad growing up. And so by the time I get to 5, like it just feels like it's already existed and has continued to exist. But in terms of toys, yes, I have vivid memories of getting certain figures and toys. I have a Trade Federation, one of the big round cruiser. I have that, the Micro Machine for it. It's heavy and it's just, I remember playing with that in the bathtub. You know what I mean? Like it'd just be what you had. And like I remember the Taco Bell line. Like we literally went and got Taco Bell, and I remember getting the Anakin Vader cube and just being perplexed by the Anakin Vader cube. Flip, 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 flip. But like
sipping from your Watto cup.
Yeah, literally right up there. I've got my Watto cup. I'm not even kidding. But the thing is, and you know this because you cognitively lived through it. You were super aware of it. Unlike I was 5. I just knew it existed. But like and for some reason, the late '90s branding of Star Wars, Pokemon, any IP was always number one. And so when I went to Taco Bell, I would get, a Star Wars toy. Then when we went to go, shop after, if we went by Sears or something, you would get a Star Wars toy because it was so much there and there was so much variety.
Yeah, we certainly don't have the pervasive nature of a rollout today for any IP.
No. Seeing it come across your phone is nowhere near as fun as seeing it in the Taco Bell line, and it's a giant statue of Watto.
Right. You know what I mean? You watch a trailer and then it's done.
That's it.
That's the extent of their big rollout.
Yep.
It's not a marketing and there's so much secrecy around the toys, so you don't even see the toys half the time before they come out.
It's unfortunate, and like I would love to go back and have them do a giant rollout. Maybe Mandalorian and Grogu will be the next step. They just like do a massive, just every brand gets a bag of chips. You know what I mean? Like I miss that era.
Grogu everywhere.
It's the time to do it. I kind of miss
statues. There
needs to be statues. Kind of, I mean, it sounds really messed up, but I kind of miss that hardcore capitalism a little bit. It was kind of scary, just everything in your face, But like when it comes across your phone, it's not as, you don't feel as in depth with it. I don't know. It sounds silly, but like there's a thing there that doesn't exist anymore, and it does make me sad because we were that tail end of it. My generation was, and I remember the last big rollout was Avengers in 2012. That was it. Remember seeing that on Coke cans, seeing that in fast food restaurants, seeing that across billboards. But no more. We're not in that era anymore. That's okay.
Well, at least you got to experience it.
Yes, you're right. My students that I teach now,
to see the very end of it. You got
exactly. I got to see the actual boiling point. It was it. After that, it went away.
They made R2D2 into a cooler.
Exactly. It's those kind of things too that like they had a Droideka, a cardboard cutout. Like I remember that. Like they had a Droideka in my Albertsons that was a giant cardboard cutout. They had a B1 Battle Droid cardboard cutout in other stores. It's just I couldn't believe it. It just was everywhere.
Also, what is this? What is this thing?
Yes. And it was beautiful and it was new. And, it was before the movie came out. And obviously I was too young to understand the reception of the movie, but like everything was Star Wars and it was beautiful. And it's gone.
Every character got a moment. Like the fact that there is a Tarpals cup is a thing that would never happen today. You would never you would pick one or two main big characters to be your vanguard for the promotion and nothing else. You would not have. a Boss Nass
Mm-mm.
with
No
with
chance.
no context besides a sentence on the
Yeah.
cup.
Bomb bad. Bomb bad.
See, we brought it back around. See,
Yeah, we
that's
did.
how I work.
Instantly.
So do you now, unless this spoils something on your list, do you recall what the first Star Wars toy was that you got?
I don't think it spoils anything on my list. Okay, for the most part, I can say I do. It was it's not the Colo Clawfish. It's the OPC killer. They had the OPC killer set where it was Qui-Gon
That
and
was
he
the
was
spearfishing Qui-Gon?
yes, that one. Yes, that one. That was the first one I had because I remember I got it. And then when I went home, immediately opened it and I got in the bathtub with it. I'm not kidding. Just no reservation for like, this is a toy. It should not go in the bathtub. Literally, I'm like, I am in Naboo. I'm in the planet core. And I'm, getting in my bathtub. And I never forget like turning off the lights in the bathroom and just playing with it. Like 5 years old, like vividly remember it, and just having him jump out the water and Qui-Gon with the spear, like
And a working mouth.
And a working mouth, yeah, the mouth
moved. If you want to see that Opie have a conversation with Ken Knapsack, go check out my open chat with him where I open that.
Oh, this is great.
Oh, it's anything that has a moving mouth. I love. Yeah,
I'm just gonna fall asleep to that tonight. That's it. That's it. Close my eyes. Bliss.
If you want to see the delightful nature of Ken be the adult in the room who's humoring what is happening around him, that is one of those moments.
Perfect. We're doing it. That's it. Tonight. My wife's gonna be subjugated to that. It's perfect.
So what happened to your childhood toys? Do you still have that?
So there's a few things. There's a few items. I don't have that one that I still have. There's some that were in different boxes. Something my mom used to do, and I get it was probably the right thing to do. She would collect all the toys I hadn't played with for like a couple of years, and she would notice like which ones were wear and tear, which ones stayed in the box, all that kind of thing. And I'll never forget coming home one day, and it was from elementary school. I may have been in second grade, and my mom and my grandma, within a day, decided to paint my room a different color and rearrange my room. So when I came in, I used to have like toy bins, like, on little shelves you'd pull out. But when I came in, those bins, not all of them were gone, but a good bit were. And I don't know if she threw them away. She told me she donated them to kids and like, charity places that would take them. Might have been a Goodwill. I'm not sure. But I remember coming in.
It was a trash can.
I don't even want to think about that because that would make me resent my mother.
Well, listen,
you know what I
mean? Love my late mother.
Yes.
Same thing to my Star Wars collection. Gave it to my cousins.
Yep.
Still have not reclaimed them to this day. They have finally been found. I have not. They were supposed to be coming. Some of them have been found and coming back to me. And the reason I know that they're the ones that they found are my figures.
Let's hear it.
Is the Bespin Han Solo, who his eyes rubbed off, and I made the mistake of using a ballpoint pen to replace the eyes, and it looks like that he's straight out of Event Horizon.
He's like crazy looking.
You can't make tiny little dots with a ballpoint pen, and so it is these big, massive voids for his eyes.
Oh, that's beautiful. And look, I mean, I just came home, and a lot of them were gone, and
there was also replacements on there, which was really weird.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my room now.
Exactly.
I'm
so like
Scotty.
Like I would come in and it was great, but like I remember going to go dig for that Qui-Gon figure actually, and my mom being like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we donated those." I was like, "Oh, okay," and obviously it meant a little bit to me, but not a lot of it. Now here I am, freaking what is it, 24 years later, just like, oh my God, please, if I could have just seen that or had that. Yeah, those things happen, right? But the one thing I will say is she was really good about video games. She never pressured me to get rid of or, sell or do anything with my system. So I have every single Nintendo system ever made, except for the Virtual Boy. I'm getting that in Japan. I'm not kidding. I want that. And I'm getting a original Famicom in Japan as well. But I have pretty much every Nintendo
Famicom games to go with it.
Yes, I want to get the disc system. I have. Oh yeah, none of my friends know this. Like, we're renting a car for one of the days in Japan for the convention.
Is that just to fill with all the stuff that you're buying?
They have no idea. I'm like, we're gonna, and hopefully none of them listen to this, but like the 4 guys I'm traveling with, I'm like, all right, y'all, we're gonna go see the countryside. I'm like, I'm going to go to every Hard Off, which is the name of the store, Book Off, Hard Off, Shop Off, Hobby Off, and all of like rural Tokyo, like the outskirts of Tokyo, and I'm going to come back, and I have like $1,200 budgeted. I was like, I am going to spend. My wife can't hear that. I'm going to spend an unreal amount of money.
So what you're going to have is all these shops communicating. Is the Kiss Man coming to you?
Yeah. Yes. Is he dressed as Paul? No. But it's funny. Like I'm not trying to recoup for things I didn't have. Like when I go to a celebration, I'm not necessarily looking for old figures. I bought a Darth Maul last time I was there in the box, and I kind of like looking at it. It makes me happy. I bought a Masamita as well. But I'm never going to a celebration to look for them. But I do love, and I'm sure you've done this too, I love the loose figures that are just in a big container. And it's like $3. Yeah,
you literally just leave a Malakili in there.
I'm so glad you said Malakili. It was what was the one that who is the 3-eyed one from Return of the Jedi?
Reese?
Yes, Jerry. I bought Jerry, my co-host, a reuse. I'm like, here you go.
I bought a Malakili at San Diego Comic-Con for Bonnie Burton.
That's amazing. That's amazing. See, that's the thing too. It's like if I seek it, I won't find it. And I'm afraid that's going to happen in Japan too. But if it finds me, I'll buy it. Pretty much everything. The things I'm going to show you today are those things. Like the things that I was like, ooh, I'm not going to go out and buy this. If it finds me, it finds me, and we're here. My number one, I figured out my number one, by the way, while we've been talking. I figured it out.
But, well, it may change. You're going to go through this. You might have some difficult decisions to make when we get down to that final 2, and you're like, You're
going to emotionally compromise me. I can't stand you.
Welcome to the show.
That's right.
But you are going to get an OP. Right, you gotta get an OP again.
If I can find one for a relatively good price, yes,
they are not expensive.
Yes. I know they're not. I know. I'm thinking $15.
Toys, they're not expensive.
I'm thinking $15. Like really, I'm sure it's
boxed. You can have that unboxing experience.
Oh, stop! I did. Okay, so I did that once for our channel. I'll plug that real quick. For my wedding, I had all the Pod Racer Micro Machines, and that was my groom's cake at the wedding. So we got a giant Costco sheet cake. We got graham crackers, crushed them, scrambled them all over the cake. Ton of them.
I want to talk about the concept of a groom's cake.
Yes.
I didn't know that there was a division of cakes.
Arguably the better cake. I'll just say that. It's going to be the opposite. So when I got married 2 years ago, literally almost 2 years to the date, we had, of course, the wedding cake, which was one flavor, and it was fine, ambrosia, whatever. But then the groom's cake is going to usually be a different flavor, different like taste entirely. And my groom's cake was the Micro Machines, the full set of the Micro Machines from the pod race scene from the Boot to Eve Classic.
All crumbled up on top of the cake.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is, and you're going to love this, is how peculiar I got to it. I told him exactly where I wanted it placed because I wanted it to make sense map wise. I know that sounds so stupid, but like I wanted the actual, the part where they take off to be in one area, and then I put the other over here. But the thing is, they put one pod racer backwards, and it drove me crazy because I went up to like, oh my God, I picked it up. I flipped it before anyone saw it.
Which one did they play?
It was, oh my God, it was, oh hell. I have to look it up now. I forget whose it was.
Because you left it on a comment card.
I was like the Google form, like, you need to die, rot in hell.
Also, where was the courage to not use Micro Machines and treat it like a king cake?
You know what?
Your piece of cake.
You have to buy the whole set. I have to look this up now. Hold on. Pod Race Micro Machines. But yeah, it was a cool thing. And look, I unboxed the full set of them. I tore the packaging off the other one. You know what I mean? So it was there was a sense of I guess you could say I am a child again. I understand what this feels like.
You also collected them all from the cake before anyone could eat them.
Oh, 100%. I stole it out of kids' mouths, children's mouths.
No, these weren't gifts for you. These were gifts for me.
Yes. Oh, wait. Okay. I think I found it. 4. Oh, it doesn't say whose it is. What is this? Okay, it's the one. Oh, I'm not going to do this for you on your recording. This is going to be me just trying to explain stuff to you.
Just describe it for the people watching right now who are going to, in their mind, instantly know what one you're talking about.
Close your mind's eye, everyone. This is an open your mind's eye and close your physical eyes. It is a blue pod racer where the thrusters actually point more backwards and the pod is more towards the front. So I really couldn't tell you whose pod this is. And I've done like an entire ranking of every single pod racer on our channel before. We did a tiers list and we did that. And
was the mistake on this cake so traumatic that you've blocked out?
It must have been.
Whose pod racer this was?
And I scorned the poor lady in the back that did it wrong.
Is this a pod racer we only see in the home video release and was not in the original theatrical release?
I honest to God believe so, because I can't tell who this is. I can't tell whose pod this is. I think it's and it wasn't like Rats Tyrell. Like there's some iconic pods, right?
Team Toe?
Not Team Toe. No, of course not. Oh, I would never slander Team Toe's name. It's not obviously not Sepulba. It's not Dudbolt. It's not Gascano. It's one of those ones that you see in a flash.
Number of pod racers. Let's just say that George really went to town on a full field of pod racers in the full version of that pod race.
I'm going to find it. Oh my God, I think I just did. Oh, found it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Neva Key. Neva Key is more like a bat, and you don't even see Neva Key necessarily.
A figure release.
No, Neva Key does not have a figure release. All you see is
right.
Okay, exactly. Neva Key is one of the ones that's a maquette, and that's about it. Neva Key is in the Pod Racer video games, but that Micro Machine is flipped. So there you go. The more your audience knows, the better.
Where are the Micro Machines from your cake right now?
I have them in a Ziploc bag in the top of my closet with a couple of other figures.
Ziploc bag? So that you don't have like a plaster version of your wedding cake?
Oh God, hold on. I got to go figure this out. That's the next step. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to vacuum seal it.
A full recreation of your groom's cake?
Can I tell you one gross thing that I do have in my freezer right now? This is no joke. You're going to love this. I am a valiant member of the KISS Navy. I went in the KISS Cruise 11 in October of 2022. And I kid you not, we went to a panel where Paul Stanley taught us how to make pizza. And he literally made the pizza. He flipped the dough. And the guy that was hosting the panel, I'm like, amen. He's like, what's up? After Paul, I got up stage, I'm like, give me that pizza dough. He's like, what? I'm like, please give me that pizza dough. Okay. Boom. Tosses me the pizza dough, and me and my best friend take a giant chunk, we take a bite out of it, and then we went and find we literally touched Paul's hands. Then we went and found a Ziploc bag, and fermenting in my freezer in my garage is this disgusting bag of sourdough.
And so once a year, you take a tiny ball out just to top it off.
Yes, I place it on my tongue, and then I trip. I trip.
Yeah, it's a KISS communion, right?
Yes, yeah. But yeah. That's a little bit more insight into my personality. I would love if
making pizza with him was just him opening a Stouffer's French bread pizza box.
I can do an impression.
That's what you do. That's what
I can either do Paul Stanley or this Paul Stanley. I'll do one of both.
No, I want civilian Paul Stanley. That's
okay. I'll do it. Here's civilian. Here you go. Well, first you got to take the pizza dough. And then once you take the pizza dough, you got to make sure you spread it around. You do a little flip here, do a little flip there. And then, much like KISS, you just got to add all the ingredients together and you got a kick-ass show. That's my civilian Paul. But if it was on stage, Paul, now I got to do it. How many of you like pizza? All right. Do you like pizza shoved in your mouth?
Now,
delicious.
Has he ever done a show where he got confused?
Well, I can tell you, I was actually texting my friend Alden Diaz about this. Not familiar. Not familiar. Don't know who that is. Who's that jerk? KISS recently did a release of Off the Soundboard. So every now and then they just drop a random off the soundboard from one of their random concerts. And Paul did an entire monologue leading up to the song Lick It Up. And how he starts, he goes, how many of you how many of you people like things in your mouths? And I was like, this is amazing. Who speaks like this?
And
So
you're like,
good.
me, I have your pizza dough.
Yes. Put it back in my mouth. Anyway.
We had to get the requisite kiss conversation in there.
Thank you.
We did it.
Thank you.
Make sure the touchstone was there. So we should start off with your list.
Oh no.
So
now we have to do it 5-1.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we're gonna rank it. But here's the thing. If it makes you feel any better, this only exists in this moment of this conversation.
Oh,
it only
great.
means that it means that it can be completely re-ranked after this in your mind. This is how your heart views these things right now as you're looking at them.
That's fair.
So all the objects will not feel bad that in this moment it could shift around in the future. So
okay, I don't know if you ever think about this, Ken. I think about this often. We put so much work into our craft. And like I always think with the day, like one day YouTube's like, we're just gonna purge everything. And like all this hard work we've put off
for that.
And I would too. I think it'd be kind of cool. But like I would love the idea of like everything I've ever made gets purged, but this is the only remaining I guess digital footprint of me ever. It's on your show. And I'm raking these things that mean a lot to me. And this is the only impression people get of me.
Now,
these 5 objects.
Would it feel better if they did that, but they said they donated all your content instead?
Done. That's it. I would feel much better. I would just go, okay, and then be sad about it 30 years from now. But I got to ask you something. I've got to ask you something. Is there any chance for any honorable mentions or no?
Oh, no.
Okay.
By all means, you can have honorable mentions. So don't worry. You're not going to offend any of your inanimate objects in your collection.
They're all yelling at me. Oh,
we're not as special as the dough, are we?
No, yes, I don't eat you every month.
So as of right now, and we'll save your honorable mentions for the end, for the ones that didn't make the ranking.
Okay.
So as of right now, your number 5 object is...
And I can show it on camera.
Show it on camera and discuss why and just why it's special to you.
You might have one of these, and if you don't, get your hand on one of them. I love it. They're very affordable. I'll show you what it is. Have you ever heard of the company called Mini Museum?
I have not.
Okay, I'll tell you about them. This, according to them, is an original piece of the Crate Dragon. So what this company does, and I'll show you. Hold on. It's a very small piece. It looks like a kidney stone. Hold on. I'm trying to fix my lights and see if you can see it. Hold on. This might make it easier. There we go. Kind of see it? It's like a little chunk of plaster almost.
Stone. Yeah,
it's a okay. Hard to see for the most part. I don't want to take it out, but how this company works is, and I think it's a brilliant method of business. They either buy big chunks of objects at auction for lots of money, then they break off little pieces and sell it to them. This piece was part of the Crate Dragon piece, which is also part of the, I think, some old 1975 Disney movie set. So they break off a piece of it and they sell it to you for a very low price. This piece was only $30, but the authentication of it is legit. They send you the certificate of authenticity. They send you everything, and I put it all in the box just for me to keep it later. But this is the one that I love the most because it's the most affordable piece of movie history that I can officially own. They do this with fossils as well that you can buy. I've got one right here that I've taken out the box, but an ammonite. So like you can buy an ammonite, like a legit ammonite that's been, obviously polished and everything for like, that was like $20. So like I like being able to have pieces of big things. Like here's a really weird one. I can go grab it, but I have a piece of Steve Jobs' shirt. Someone bought this Steve Jobs turtleneck he wore for one event, and they cut it up into a little piece and they sold it. And so he wore this for one of the press events, and someone that, had sold it at auction, that company bought it for like $60,000. But what they do is they cut chunks of it and they sell it to you and they recuperate their money.
I do have something similar.
Okay.
So I was of the Titanic generation.
Oh, okay.
When the Titanic was found.
Oh, okay. So you weren't a 14 kid.
No. Well, Thank you. I think. So this was the Titanic craze of the mid '80s. Found the
Yes.
Titanic. Ballard found it.
Mhm.
And so that was a whole big thing. And at some point, and I don't recall when it was, but I saw an offer because there was a thing about not removing anything from the wreck,
Of course.
but the debris area was fair game. So what they did was they retrieved Titanic coal
Wow.
from the seabed and sold a piece of coal from the Titanic, and that was what I have a piece of coal from the Titanic.
That's amazing. See, but I love that because that's just enough. You own a little bit of history, you know? They also someone had bought like NASA's first microcomputer, like the first microprocessor, and they just pretty much cut the RGB board up and that's it. They gave you the piece of the board that was part of the first computer. So like, I love that kind of stuff because you do feel like you own a very small piece of history. Like, this is from the real crate dragon that was in the shot. And like, look, I mean, for your listeners and for you later, you can look it up. Like, if you go to Mini Museum, and I'm just going to look at it right now and tell you what they got on there. But like, Mini Museums just so like, I as a teacher, you got to think how useful this is as a teacher because you can buy chunks of small fossils for very affordable. So like, here's the $29 and under. You can buy jaws from fish that live in the Cretaceous period. You can buy apparently some old amino acids. Like, these things are weird. These things are nerdy. But they also do have like shot by category. So you can go under there and see, things that deal with the Beatles. Like, they have a Cavern Club brick that they purchased for a lot of money, but you get a chunk of that brick. You know what I mean?
The brick, right?
Yeah, or the Strawberry Fields brick, or they've got a George Harrison, like a piece of one of his old guitars that he broke, or they bought at auction and broke up. So like, I think personally, it's a brilliant way of getting people to buy your stuff. But I also think it's really cool that you can own a chunk of history.
Yeah.
Yes.
For an accessible price.
Yes. And like, let's see.
If they offered a tiny, like the size of that Steve Jobs shirt, a tiny little portion of the handkerchief that Paul Stanley used to wipe off his makeup after a concert, would you buy it?
$100 instantly. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's funny though. Like, they don't do that many living people. I think they wait till they die to then sell their possessions.
It's a suspect of
a little bit, right?
Where they're finding this stuff.
Yeah, you never know, man. But like,
you want a piece of rosebud?
This is Bill Clinton's desk chair.
This tiny
you want a chunk of it?
It's all that's left of rosebud.
But like, they just got royal wedding cake, which is crazy. Someone sold a piece of the royal's wedding cake, Princess Diana's wedding cake, at auction, and it's like a rotting piece of black, like just a little black square. So it's like, I don't know. And you could buy it in bundles. Like the Beatles brick is literally $26. So like, it's cool. I don't know. I love it. And you can buy real authentic stuff. Like, I know I said it earlier, but that's the kind of things I love. That's why it's number 5, because it's accessible and literally your listeners. Yes, it's tangible. And like, I took it out and I felt it in my hands. And I'm like, wow, I can't, this is an actual piece of movie history.
Did you taste it?
Oh, I put it in my nose and I let it go through my esophageal and I spit it back up my hand. I'm like, beautiful.
You're like, no, it's part of me.
Yes, it's inside my body.
Tastes great.
But that's 5, man. That's number 5. Numero 5.
Well, now I can't wait to see where this list goes. now it's any direction.
Oh, this is great. Oh, yeah, it is actually.
And was that an instant purchase for you, or did you sort of debate that?
No, instant, because it's funny enough to like save money around it every year. You get the parent, I guess sponsors, whatever you call them, parent volunteers. Like, what do you, if the kids were to get you a Christmas gift, what would you want? And I sent like 3 of those in. I'm like, I could use them for my science class, and I want one for fun. So I sent in not the ammonite, I sent a different one in, but like it was maybe a trilobite fossil, something weird. And like I just said that and the crate dragon. And so they spent, I think it was like $100 for every teacher. And so yeah, I got this, and I'm like, well, this is perfect. It's the perfect gift.
Have you used that in the classroom lecture?
Not this, but I've used all my other ones. This went straight home. I put this in my shirt pocket. I was like, no one will know. But it's funny, I have it propped up next to my I like the Art of books. It's honestly, that is the only thing I truly collect and purchase pre-order the second it's announced. I got every single Art of book. But this is propped up against my Macquarie, like the big, 2-book box set. It's propped up right next to it. So
The one that
cool.
Dave Mandel.
Yes, it's got 3PO and it's got R2 in the front of it, and it's that famous shot of 3PO, and it's kind of cool. Yes, and it's kind of cool to like see this prop next to it, and then it's like, wow, that was it conceptualized. This is it in reality, and now I own a piece of it in my hands. I don't know. There's something very cool and tangible about that for me. So,
well, I think you need to work up a lesson plan around it.
Yeah, that's it. All right, kids.
By the way, my list this year is an Opie.
Yeah. Find it.
We're doing marine studies.
But it's cool. I mean, like, you can also go on Etsy and see other versions of this, but they don't feel as authentic. Like, this is a real fully website, but like if I buy it off Etsy, like I don't know if I'm really buying the actual chunk of a thing, right? I don't know. They got them, but
all this stuff is a measure of faith and
literally,
yeah. So,
yeah.
And at the end, if in some way it brings you pleasure in the time that you have it, regardless of its authenticity. If you want to believe in it in that point, then by all means enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Take it in.
And then when we're gone, it'll be donated.
Someone else's problem. Some other moron. Oh, man.
Knapsack. You leave it your will to knapsack.
That's right. That's the only thing he's getting, man.
It's going to be all of our dumping ground for all of our stuff.
That and a Bible.
You got to highlight certain parts.
Yes. The weirdest parts, too. Vague.
Or get that Mad Lib Bible.
Oh, I got some Mad Libs. Here's my Sonic the Hedgehog Mad Lib from 6th grade. Have fun with it, bud.
Love it. He love it.
It'd be like boobs, farts, like a noun.
And boob farts.
Yeah, and boob farts.
So what is your number 4 object?
Okay, number 4 is directly behind me. As you can see, for the audio listeners, it's a Boba Fett cardboard cutout. May seem super simple. I'll tell you the full story behind it. I love this because I had kind of been in the leak game. Like I didn't do leaking, but I was really into it. And there was that minute before Mando season 2 where they're like, oh my God, there's Ahsoka's in it. Well, with Fett's going to come back in it. Bo-Katan's in it. And no one knew Luke was going to show up, obviously.
Hondo.
Yeah, Hondo, right? And there was a bunch of weird ones that were in the ether. But I'll never forget this because this actually is school related, weirdly enough. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. Someone had it listed for $20. Now, this is not just a regular like 2012, 2005 cardboard cutout. This is a 97 special edition cardboard cutout. Like it's not
an Amazon purchase.
No. This is truly, you can read the copyright in the foot, 97. The cardboard's old. This was in someone's garage for a very long time. And they were a Star Wars collector. And apparently him and his wife went through a separation. He had to get rid of all of it. So I was lucky. I bought this the same day I bought a Celebration 99 catalog. Like the actual thing you could buy at the convention. The
souvenir
what's
book.
It called? Yes, the souvenir book. So I bought that and that the same day. And this was 20 and that was 30. So I come home. Wife's not too happy. Cardboard cutout. Bombad Cast had started just about a year before that. So I'm like, it's perfect for the studio. This is my office. Like, and I have a spot right here where I can hide. Like, no one's going to see it when they walk in the house.
Had you spent the entire drive home coming up with the rationale?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I was like, this was justification here. I sat. I'm helping this guy out. No, so I bought it. And get this, that episode, Mando season 2, episode 1. Premiered on October 30th. And then it was a Friday because Halloween was the next day. Why do I remember this so vividly? I'll tell you. I made it to where my 7th and 8th graders had their like big, huge, like last test of the quarter or maybe first test of the second quarter that day. So I wouldn't have to do any work when I got to work other than pass out their stuff and read, all the Reddit, Twitter, all those posts about Mando season 2. Like literally that was my plan. But something struck me because, I woke up as everyone did then at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time to watch that episode premiere. And I bought this the day before thinking Boba Fett would show up at some point in the season and that Boba Fett would become more valuable, quote unquote. But I bought it the day before. I bought it that Thursday night.
Was that also part of your rationale?
Yeah,
it's an investment opportunity.
It's gonna go up 6 cents.
This is a Crate Dragon.
But like, here's the funny part: is I bought it that morning. I wake up in shock. Boba Fett's at the very end, and he's walking, away from one Din Djarin. Like the frame gets smaller, and then the speeder bike's going off, and then Boba Fett, you see him come into frame, and they have that crazy noise, and he turns around. It's Tamora Morrison. I got chills talking about it, and I like, oh my god, like that is. I feel vindicated, right?
And it's so weird that he looked at the camera and said, "Hey, Scotty."
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, Scotty." But even weirder. Well, even weirder. But what was made it fun was I got to work really early that morning because I was having a hard time coming down from that. I brought the cardboard cutout with me to work. I set it up in my classroom and I wrote on the board, "Happy Mandalorian Day." And like every kid was like, "Can we get a picture with it? That's so nerdy." I brought all my lightsabers to let them take photos with it because it was the launch of season 2. And funny enough, now that I look back at it, streaming obviously has taken on a weird burden of its own now. Like Andor, by the time Celebration's over, there would be had 6 episodes of Andor in 2 weeks. That's going to be awful. That's going to be so much.
That seems like the punishment of going, I caught you smoking. Now you have to smoke the whole carton.
Exactly. So like, this was like kind of, there was a little bit of a heaven there where like I brought this and the kids were like, "Oh, okay." And some kids said they watched the show, after they saw that in my classroom. And that meant a lot to me. So that figure, I packed it up in my car the next day, drove it to work, had it set up. Kids took photos. I'll send you some of those. I'm so happy for those pictures because I'm glad I can have that. But like, I was super nerd that day. And I like explained that to him. So I'm sorry. This would be the nerdiest thing I do ever. But it sat in the front of my classroom and it was spectacular.
And
honest to
God.
God.
Tax deduction.
Now it's a tax deduction. Now it's some kid's weird memory. We all had those foggy memories from middle school. And some kids would be sitting there like, "My teacher brought a Boba Fett cardboard cutout. We took pictures with it."
I think my teacher was Boba Fett.
That's even worse. But it's funny though.
It's all the reason talk about. And he brought lightsabers.
He brought lightsabers, brought his blast. I think I did bring a helmet. But the funny thing with that is, I always had cardboard cuts in my room, and I forgot about this. But for my 11th birthday, my grandma out of nowhere surprised me with a General Grievous cardboard cutout, and it stayed in my childhood bedroom until we left that house when I was 18, and I think I sold it at a garage sale. But like, it was a great cardboard cutout. It was just General Grievous. It was huge into my room. He would be in the corner in my closet, like, tall and foreboding.
Just looking disappointed in you.
Yes, of course, as always. But like, this kind of harkens back to that.
The quiet ennui of General Grievous.
What is he doing in his bed?
What am I doing here? What even am I? This cyborg? Am I?
Do I have a gut sack? Can I fart? Never thought about that, huh? Man probably farts.
Well, I'm sure at the end.
Oh,
Obi-Wan would know.
Boom, boom. That's the edit we deserve. But yeah, that's 4. That's 4 because there's like a double entendre of nostalgia now, But yeah. And also my wife, we went to, do you remember when these premiered at Celebration 2019? Do you remember these guys? Can you see them? It's the weird little, it's the baby versions of like the Rodian and the Jawa and the Ewok. I'll zoom in.
And like a sling kind of.
Yes. So if you can see them near my face, and for your listeners, they're these weird toys, but like there used to be a store
rubber or plastic heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're plastic heads. They're very not squishy, but you can kind of crush them a little bit. They remind me of that first Grogu toy that came out in like early 2020. But the reason why I'm showing you that is because there was a time where those figures were new and they were expensive. They were like $40, like, kind of like baby dolls. But then after a while, there's a store in Baton Rouge called Dirt Cheap, and they would get all the old Target toys and Target collections and stuff, and they would sell it to you at a very discount rate.
So we got each of Baton Rouge.
It's exactly, yes. So we got those for literally like $10 a piece. And so my wife's like, yeah, these are perfect. These will be practice.
And a tax deduction.
And a tax deduction. Ken knows what's up.
Decorating the studio. Have you named them?
Ken Knapsack and Ken Plume.
Oh,
that's it. They're named officially.
Ken and Ken.
I do got the Kens.
Which one is which?
You are the Jawa because you're the collector, and Ken Knapsack's the Rhodian because he'll get killed at some point. He's there to collect. Look at this, man. This is good, Ken. I like this.
Right now, he's shouting at the screen about the
screaming, punching it.
No, Radiant Jawa.
Its eyes are blue though, and they're beautiful. They're like galaxy looking.
Well, now I'm sad that I missed out on those. I never saw those in stores.
I'm going to send you one of them severed.
You're going to go to Dirt Cheap and buy one of the 50 that remain.
Yeah, it's it. Just hanging there.
Buy us, please. Please, sir.
Please, sir. My peg is getting warm.
It's ever so cold on my peg. Why is peg warming so cold?
That's beautiful.
So we're getting down. We're now at the midpoint.
Oh, Jesus. No.
So this is where the difficult decisions, because you're going to have to make sure that your top two are in place.
They are. They actually are.
Okay, so it's a strong top two.
It is there because number one is one of the more. There's like a metaphysical nature to number one. So I'll explain that in a minute, though.
Okay, so your number three choice.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
You've been to Galaxy's Edge, right, Ken?
Too many times.
Okay. I did the Savvy's workshop. I got my saber. This is not the one, but I just want to show you my saber. I decided to go green blade, but I went with more of a dark sider design because it's kind of, I don't know, there's a duality to this, and I like the way it looks. The heaviness of the sabers are really nice, but
also when you said dark cider design, all I could think was like an apple cider.
Yes, an apple. Yes, it was a plum cider.
Is that what they call the alcoholic cider in Galaxy's Edge? Is the dark cider? Yes,
the dark side. That's brilliant. We should patent that. But look, so you know, have you built a lightsaber yet? Have you done it?
No, I've ruined someone else's experience.
Well, okay.
I was there with a friend who was very excited and did not enjoy my running commentary on the experience.
No.
Well, he asked me to film it, and there's an enjoyable aspect and a certain campiness to the presentation.
Yeah,
and it's delightful and immersive, but it is an inveterate commentator on things like that. And I wasn't trying, but he wanted to be so invested in the magic of this moment of this.
I love it.
I will say that the person, the cast member running the workshop was delighted by my commentary.
Yes.
My friend was not.
The part that I was most invested in was when I'm not going to give it away for anyone. A certain voice comes over. That made me very emotional. Was that the part you talked through? The part you were like, Jesus.
Yes, when Ben Clinton came on.
Yeah, that was wild. He's like hitting stuff. That is hilarious.
Hello, race fans.
But look, so I built it, I built the blade. Amazing, cool. My wife's like, how much did you spend? And I'm like, it's an experience. She was there. Me, my buddy Eric, our buddy Kevin, and my wife were there, and they thought it would. I mean, they didn't have any mean comment. They weren't mean like you, but but no, they watched it. They understood it.
I was an enhancement for the magic.
Yes, you were. I
was Magic Plus.
Magic. You're part of the vibe. So they had that whole moment. Now you're gonna love this. My buddy Kevin and Kate had to leave a day early. I forgot the reason. They wanted to fly back home, and they needed to book a cheap flight. So I think we got there not worried about how we'd get back. So they found cheap flights that day and they flew back to Baton Rouge from Orlando. Quick flight, like 2 hours, easy. And so that gave me my buddy Eric, who is like Eric's the kind of guy, and I love Eric. Eric's kind of that guy's like, let's go do something stupid, just like, let's go. We'll just ride around the house. Let's ride around the neighborhood with the windows down. Just like, very laid back, very chill. So we go back to Galaxy's Edge and we go into Savvy. Is it Savvy's workshop?
Savvy. S-A-V-I, right? Yeah.
No, wait, no, hold on. That's the one. That's where you build the saber. Doc Ondar's. We go to Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. Yes, sorry. And we got some kyber crystals. Ooh. But then we go to the glass counter and we wait in our little line, just to see what they had. I look over and I see this, and it's only in one movie, and it was the had to purchase, and I never, and it wasn't so much because the Savvy's one is thick and heavy, and it's like you can feel the weight of it. This is a little bit lighter, and so I had to buy it. I think the case is at my mom's house, but it is the Obi-Wan Phantom Menace hilt. I love this hilt. I bring it outside when I take the dog out. I plug the little saber into it. I kick it on. It's bright blue.
Please tell me it has a little shovel attachment for when you walk the dog.
Oh yes, it does. I scoop the poop with it. But in all seriousness, to have this, because I know you've watched the beginning, my favorite documentary in all of Star Wars, the Phantom Menace doc, behind the scenes doc, and he's looking at the lightsabers because he chose the hilt, before the movie was started filming. And he picks this one and he goes, I like this one's it. I think I like this one. And like to see him like identify and feel out, because he had Qui-Gon's blade. He had a version of Maul's blade in his hand. There was kind of a weird version of Mace Windu's blade in his hand for a minute, but he like settled on this. And so like
Liam Neeson was like, I don't care.
Oh, 100% didn't care. He didn't care. And I had the Qui-Gon blade.
Hand me one of the sticks.
I had that Qui-Gon blade growing up too, which is kind of weird. But to like have this one, and I wish I could explain to you, do you have one of these, the legacy sabers?
I don't have anything from Galaxy's Edge. I have some of the master replicas.
Yes. Okay. I bought a Sidious master replica one when I was a kid. I, for some reason, got like a $300 gift card to Best Buy, and they had a master. I'm an idiot. They had it's weird because like it was like a third of the scale. So it like fit my little kid hand perfectly, but all it was the hilt. You couldn't put anything in it. I don't know why I bought it. Idiot. I think I returned it actually.
Yeah,
but
the ones I have are the original master replicas.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I think I have Anakin and Obi-Wan's from Revenge of the Sith.
That's sick.
And then I used to have Sidious and Dooku and the Luke Elite one that
Yes. Okay, I remember that one. But it's funny too, because these are kind of the spiritual successors for the most part.
Right. That's like Disney taking him in-house.
Yes. But it's the quality in which they're made. Like, I know it sounds silly when I say it, but there is a certain realistic coolness to it. The metal is just cool enough. They don't leave any fingerprints. It's some sort of stainless steel. The plastic feels really nice. Like, I feel like it would be the closest thing you can. Like, even that weird little jewel that's on Obi-Wan's blade, like, it has a certain shimmer to it, and it reflects a certain way. And I don't know.
Like a prop replica. It feels
exactly
like an authentic piece of the film.
Yes. And like, I held this one. So we had a big walk in, all my Star Wars friends for the wedding. I asked them to play Duel of the Fates, and we walked in. This is the blade I had in my hand. I raised it up and I had the blade on, and it was blue. And it's just like, yeah, this is it. This is it for me. I don't quite have any other physical objects that I feel is attached to. Like, if the house is on fire, I'd grab the hard drive that has all of our family photos on it. And I'd probably grab this. Honestly, this is the only physical. The hard drive. If this was on fire, I'd probably
there was a hesitation there.
A little bit, buddy. A little bit, buddy.
But also, you sleep with a lightsaber, so it's not like it's going to be difficult to grab.
That's the line of defense. That's it. Burglar comes in,
showing whoever breaks in. Look at this! Isn't this cool?
Look at this! Just throw it at him.
Ow! Is that Obi-Wan's?
With the Phantom Menace. Oh, I love that one,
dude. That's so random.
It's so bomb bad. Thanks. You watch the show? That's what I'll say to him.
Big fan. Where are your valuables?
Right here.
I saw you on Force 5 and I thought there was a lot of cool stuff that you had.
Exactly.
I'll
All
take
of
that
this.
cardboard cutout too. And the two Kens.
I won't give them away. There's no chance. I would die.
So do you have a ranking for the lightsabers that, as far as your like top 3 favorite? We obviously know the Obi-Wan's your favorite.
That is it.
What's
That's
the
number
runner-up?
1. I love the dark saber. That's one of the cooler ones. The dark saber was one of the ones when you saw it in live action for the first time. I was like, "Oh wow!"
Say you're wandering into Doc Ondar's again, and you're walking up to that
dark
glass
saber,
case.
Dark saber, without a shadow of a doubt. But I don't know if they even sell that one anymore. Did they ever sell the dark saber? I'll look that up.
It's Disney.
You're probably right. Doc Ondor.
That's Disney's law of merch, right? Is that if you wonder if they ever made it available.
Oh yeah, they did. They did. And you had to buy its own blade. And the cool thing is this one came with a stand that like sat on a really beautiful base and just like stood up, and then you just attach the blade to it. Yeah. That would probably be the one. That would be the second one I'd buy. I really like that one. Another underrated one. I'm trying to see what other ones they got there. But that's
Reclaim Sidious.
See, there's something to that. I like the idea that I like the Count Dooku one too, though. That one's cool.
That nice curved blade.
Yeah, I had a version of that one growing up. I think it was like one of the first light up lightsabers, like really good light up lightsabers. I had that, but still plastic, like still Hasbro design or whoever made it.
I will say the Sidious one, out of context, does look awkward.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
There are certainly questions raised by the look of the
what clearly.
Yes.
The other one though, the Cal Kestis like damaged one, I really like how authentic that one felt. The one with the kind of the electronics kind of sticking out the back of it. I'm currently through a list of all the best ones. Oh man. Yeah, I'm really thinking it's going to be the dark saber, of course, the one I currently have. And man, I don't know, Ken Plume.
I mean, you're going to encounter these things again.
Oh, I know. I'm going to go back there with a kid one day. They're going to be like, "Dad, why are you spending $170?"
You're just going to go back to
just some random kid.
I'm getting it for him. It's not for me.
Oh, look, I forgot they do have the Palpatine one. Oh yeah, this is nice.
Of course they do.
Oh, I like it.
What made you think that they wouldn't have it?
I don't know. Oh, they have a 3 set of all the Kenobi blades. Honestly, you know what, Ken? I take it back. I think I would buy the Qui-Gon to kind of match it, kind of complete it. That would be cool. That'd be pretty dope. Yes.
Yeah, but then you gotta get a mall so you can do a full Duel of the Fates display.
Oh my God, it's perfect.
Then you can reenact. That's when you renew your vows.
That's it. It's perfect.
So it's you and your wife with the Qui-Gon and the Obi-Wan, and the officiant has the Darth Maul.
Yes, we have to fight. We have to kill him. Oh, then whoever has Qui-Gon's dies. Oh, geez. My wife's dying. No question about it.
That was a little too quick and easy. My wife's dying.
You can find another one.
But I gets to display the lightsaber in her memory.
She held it since she died. No, this one was kicked down a shaft, wasn't it?
Yeah, Maul walks over and kicks it.
Boom. Oh no! So I have to lose this one and lose my wife?
So does that mean that in Maz Kanata's big box of post-dental appointment treasures that Obi-Wan's original lightsaber is in there too?
A story for another day. The hell line is that? Everyone gets mad at TLJ. Everyone gets mad at Tross. But no one gets mad about, we'll save it for another day. What a weird line.
People get mad at everything.
That's true. I got a little mad just now.
Somebody watching is going, no, I get mad at that.
I'm mad now too. Let's break shit.
Speaking of, which are your top 2? So now you are going to have to solidify this decision.
You ready? This one is wild. You ready? I'm going to take it off the wall. I have not done this since I put it up there. I got to tell the story of it first. I'm wearing the pants that I paint in. I just noticed that, and it's covered in crazy marking. So I'm sorry for everyone that looked down. I was like, what the hell? Okay, so
I will say it completes the look.
it does. I members only jacket, Paul Stanley shirt, and pants covered in paint.
That's a comfortable
This I bought this with the frame already on it. This is a weird piece. Brandon Winerdy, Talking Bay 94. Not sure if you ever heard of the podcast. Great podcast. He's a good guy. He knows I have a deep obsession with Rick McCallum. I've had for years. So here I am.
A little more context for people who are not familiar.
Yes. I am on Twitter, and this is like 2020. So this is like the height of like COVID. And I get a message, and people, I guess, are just selling their stuff, right? Brandon sends me a message. He goes, "Oh my God, I found a listing that is so perfectly you that I almost bought it, but I knew you'd enjoy it more." What I'm about to show you is a signed print from the artist known as Matt Bush. Busch. Bush, maybe. Matt Bush, I tried to get an interview with him. He's Australian. It's hard to line up times with Australians. I need to reach back out to him again. He was paid a commission to do this print. Now, this is a print. I don't think it's it's not the actual drawing itself. It's the print of a drawing that's signed by him. This was a custom piece to either a collector or a custom piece to someone. It is on his website in a very low resolution image. I am the only one that has the true high quality. I don't think it's accessible anywhere else. It is a print. I'm describing it to the audience members. I'm going to show you, Kim, of George Lucas dressed as Qui-Gon holding this very blade that is green. So there's some artist discrepancy here. Then it's an image of Rick McCallum with a Padawan blade holding Qui-Gon's saber that is blue, I guess showing the director-producer role. And it's them.
Rick McCallum being the very integral producer, starting with
Yes,
Young
the
Indiana
prequels.
Jones Chronicles and up through the prequels, and sort of the facilitator for George's vision, the way Gary Kurtz was in the 70s.
And another thing, too, everyone says Rick McCallum was a yes man. While I do think there is some sort of valid critique with that, I understand it. Everyone always says that if Rick McCallum would have said no, blah, blah, the prequels would have been better. I thoroughly disagree. I think Rick wanted to make this man's dream come true, and George financially backed this
Rick
whole
McCallum
movie himself.
was an employee of George Lucas.
Yes.
So there also was he was hired to facilitate George's vision, not to be there
at any point negate it or take back. And that's why I always said The Phantom Menace is the most pure Star Wars movie. I mean, I love midichlorians, and I'd have a whole lecture on that's happening at Celebration. But like The Phantom Menace just felt so purely George. And like once the backlash came from it, we didn't get weird stuff like this anymore that I'm about to show you. So I got this. It came from a store or some comic shop in Grand Rapids. I don't know how the person got it. I don't think it's a one of one, but I could certainly say that there's not many versions of this print out there, and apparently it's a custom piece. I'm going to show you. And for the audio listeners, I just described it to you. It is an incredible piece. So it is, if you can see it, George and Rick, signed by Matt Bush right there. It's kind of hard to see, but it is a wild looking print. Probably could see it best like that. What do you think of that? What was your first thoughts, Ken?
My first thought is the facial expressions.
Yes.
Particularly on Rick.
Yes.
There's it I think the best way to describe it would be a sudden realization of a bodily misfire.
That's right. Look at
or
that.
Malfunction. Like something happened. Like, maybe you thought it was going to be all air. And
nope. That was a turd.
He looks like very concerned.
Deeply.
George looks confident.
But George looks like classic George. I know what photo that's taken from. I think I could find the Rick photo too if I looked hard enough.
Yeah, that's like the Lucas Mythmaker.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But there's something to this image where it's like there was an era in time where this was certainly true. And like, I kind of miss that Rick McCallum.
Rick is out front.
Yes, Rick is
clearing
in
the
front.
way.
Yes.
For
That
George.
art is worth 1,000 words. And I think we've already spoken 500 about this one. You know?
I mean, I
Isn't it
also
cool,
like the way
though?
the robes seem kind of more bathrobe-y and pajama-y.
Yes. But I love that Rick has the Padawan braid. That's kind of cool to me. You see it? Hold on. It's kind of I love that. I don't know. I
Yeah,
love this.
but that seems to, because of course, in that relationship, it would be George going, Rick, I need you to go run the M count.
Run, please go run the M count, Rick. Rick,
Can
I need my Diet Coke.
Check him out, please. Just I'm going to be over here, and can you?
My favorite is Natalie is fantastic. That's what she says to Rick. I always think that Natalie is fantastic. But like this is a true. Like if I were to lose all my objects and like they're like hang one thing on the wall.
Oh, I just had a vision of you running out with your drive of photos, that photo in the frame, and your lightsaber. And your wife just behind you going, what about me? What?
Where's the dogs? Where's the cats? But this is my favorite.
I gotta get the printout.
I love this one, man. This one means a lot to me.
Now, how have you not made that into a shirt? Why are you not wearing that to Celebration?
There's something sacred to it. I kind of have that weird, like, this belongs to me and only me feeling.
Or contact a sculptor.
Oh my God.
To do a digital a resin print of that Rick McCullum head to put on a Padawan Obi-Wan figure.
This is perfect. Or I could just make a full statue right here.
Yeah. Or the cardboard cutout.
$1,000 statue. It's perfect. Or the cardboard cutout.
Or just have Rick swing by.
I wish I could tell you how many emails I've sent him, his company. I'm not kidding when I say this next one. Me and his daughter follow each other on Instagram, and we message very frequently. Not kidding. I wish that was an actual joke.
Are you looking
for like
a Thanksgiving invite? What?
I literally just want 15 minutes. Just be like, hey buddy, like I love you so much. Like I gotta just know. I want to watch the whole scene in the beginning with him where he loses his mind about the pod races. The pods. Can I curse in here or no?
Yeah.
The pods are fucked. That's what I'm saying. I just want to know. I want to hear the play-by-play of his emotions in those moments.
My beautiful moment of Rick, and I think you see some of it in like the rundown that George is doing for the effects breakdowns.
Oh yes,
it's just the look on his face as a producer, just calculating what it's going to take to do all the things.
Chewed his gum.
But in a okay, gonna make it happen, but okay. Uh-huh. And you just to see the wheels turning in his head.
Unbelievable.
Real,
fake, real.
Yeah, Rick, you gonna make this happen? Rick?
He's literally chewing gum. He's like, mm-hmm.
As you see the projections of all the calculations going on around him.
Literally. And like, you know, he cared so much about these movies. And for people to write him off as a yes man, that's why he's the underdog. Like if I had to do a panel,
I'm sure Knapsack will own to this. You know,
oh, he will.
Our generation had a very negative initial response to the prequels.
Yes,
just because we were at a time in our lives and fandom to not be able to process at an immaturity level of not being able to process properly any of those things.
Yeah,
and as you grow and mature and learn, particularly just the professional side of what it takes to be a producer tasked with an independent production that needs to get made and not bankrupt the company, but you also have a visionary head of that company who is asking you to essentially create a space program to get to that moon.
Literally. And like at that point, George had only directed 3 major motion pictures because it was THX, American Graffiti, and then Star Wars.
And THX had bankrupted his friend.
Yes, exactly.
Studio, so exactly. It was not an auspicious start.
No, it was insane. And there's a testament to Rick. Like I said, if I had to do another panel, like if it was like, all right, Scotty, what's your next panel?
You mean when you do another panel?
Thank you. That's how I need to see it, because I think I could do one of Rick McCallum, like Star Wars' secret weapon, Rick McCallum, because like there's something to that guy, and like I have a deep fascination with how he pulled off what he pulled off, and the personality. He had a very old Hollywood personality. Everything was fantastic. Oh, it's fantastic. It's great. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Like it's just or it was the duality of it. The opposite was like, it's fucking grim. There's that one scene is like, this is fucking grim. I'm like, the pods are fucked badly. Where's Liam's wig? Like I just love that so much, man.
You see a person behind it holding the wig, going,
found it.
It was here all along, Rick.
That's beautiful. Now you got me nervous for my last one. You did this to me.
I didn't do this to you. You made this choice.
I did this to me.
Why? Why are you nervous?
Well, because not the YouTube purge I'm worried about. I'm just worried about the idea of like, this one seems so easy and accessible, but there's a deepness to it. Not really. It's not that easy or accessible.
The only person that this needs to matter to, as far as why this choice was made in this place, is you.
Oh, that was you. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
It's me.
The you is me if it's you talking about yourself.
Yes.
You got me?
Yes. Okay, you ready?
Your number one choice. For now, in this moment.
But it will always mean a lot to me. Give me some build up to it. My first Star Wars Celebration was Star Wars Celebration 2017 in Orlando. Me and my girlfriend at the time, now wife, drove from Baton Rouge to Orlando, or Hammond technically. It was our little college town we lived in, and we had just moved in together. It's 2017. We drive across the states. It's a long drive, dog. It's a long drive, and it's arduous.
It's a long, boring drive.
Yes, and so you do it, and you go kind of all the way across the Gulf Coast of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Then you get to the Panhandle.
Pass that Jellystone campground.
Yes, you passed the Jellystone campground. You passed you passed all of it. You passed the big like orange sign, And so you get there, boop, and then we knew we wanted to do a few things. The only problem was we traveled Wednesday night, then halfway. We weren't going to the convention that Thursday, because that was one of the first times they had a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so Thursday was the 40th anniversary of the Star Wars panel, where George was there, Harrison Ford was there, Mark Hamill was there. It was huge. Hayden Christensen, I think, was there. Ian McDermott. It was just nuts. So many people. Who else was it? It was just everyone. And then that Friday is where they premiered
Anthony
the
Daniels
last.
Was always there.
Always there. Warwick Davis always there. But that's when they premiered the Last Jedi trailer that Friday. That Saturday was something else. And then that Sunday was another big. It was just announcement after announcement. I think it was Solo even. I think they talked about Solo.
Frank
but
Oz
it was
also there.
Yes, it was just huge. It was a huge celebration. What happened was so interesting. Was we get there that Friday. We get there that Thursday. We watch the whole huge panel happen. I'm watching on my phone. We get to the hotel, we check in, blah, blah, blah. We spend pretty much that whole first day in Orlando just eating and hanging out, going to sleep early. That next Friday, we go through the whole convention all day. We watch the Last Jedi panel. And I kid you not, the weirdest thing ever. They had given out a very exclusive numbered print of Princess Leia posters. Do you remember this?
I know they exist.
Okay, I'll show you. I have one of them. But it's the way in which I got it. This is my number one. Because she had just passed away like 4 months before that. And they made these prints. And they were numbered. And there was only 8,000 people in attendance, I believe, in that main room. Or maybe it was that in one of the streaming rooms. And it's an absolutely beautiful print. You really can't find this photo anywhere else besides this print. And I'm not kidding. You can maybe see the crease in it still. Yeah, you can. You see it right there? It's reflecting off the.
Yeah.
We found this in the parking garage the next day, and it had flown and wedged itself under one of my back tires. So I must have let go of it. Maybe a kid held on to it. Maybe it was, I don't know. I don't know. Fate has it.
You know what
I
brought
don't
it
know.
there?
Someone left in that garage, ended up stuck to my 2008 Honda Civic. And here it is now in my hand. And like, why is it number one? Because I have never had like I said earlier, when something finds you, all these things found me. I did not seek it. Like the only thing I could say I probably sought after was this, but every other thing was like, oh, this means a lot. This means a lot to me. It found me. This is number one for that reason, because I truly cannot explain how I came into possession of something that's, I don't even care if it's not valuable. It was just wedged under my tire.
Yeah, but it's valuable to you.
Yes. Yes. And it's numbered.
That's the end all be all of any collection.
4,261 out of 8,000. And so like, you never know. This could have ended up in someone's tube poster or whatever, but whoever had this, let go of it. Oh, here's the other really bad crease. I forget it's even there, but it's literally been in the frame ever since. You see that big crease right there?
I mean,
yeah. But it's been in the frame ever since. Literally bought a frame.
Makes it, I mean, that's the lived in quality of it.
Yes. Yes. And it gives it the story. And no one's going to look at that and immediately see the crease. But if they they could ask about it. Yeah, now they are. Damn it. You're right. I forgot you have a giant spread of fans that are going to be like, and Scotty Jayro guy's a shitty print. But like, I look at this and I'm like, I mean, on number one, you get lost in the image. She's so beautiful. And like to think about Carrie Fisher's impact as a female protagonist in a movie that was prominently dominated, a genre that was predominantly dominated by men, and the legacy she's had later. But like this image is just powerful. And to own this is somewhat spectacular. And like, it's one of the few times that I look at this and go, man, how did this show up in my life? That's it. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
I mean,
it's a podcast. But like, I don't know, that's number one. I don't know how many number ones gotten you emotional or made you think, but like
every single one of them.
Yeah. That's beautiful, because this is number one.
Because this is the whole point of doing this.
Yeah.
Is to experience everyone else's journeys with this thing.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
And to see you arrive at that point and it arrive at you. And to know that in the scheme of things that you said that you would run out with in a fire, that was not included.
I guess it should be. I guess you're right. Can I show you my honorable mention too?
Of course.
Same Star Wars Celebration. I was on a lucky streak.
Is this under the other tire?
This is the no. This is under a chair though, and you'll like this. At celebrations, they rarely do like a giveaway, but we're at Mark Hamill's last panel that Sunday, and they're like, and I think he like lost his voice. Like, anyone in the main room right now, reach under your seats and you might have a ticket to meet me.
Hold on, I'll recreate the moment for you. Ready?
Yeah, here we go.
Anyone under the panel, if you want to reach under your seats, you could probably find there might be something fun in there for you.
Look, I can do Paul. We can do a whole thing. This is it.
Yeah, it'll be our version of love letters. Well,
yes. So, but literally, my wife, like, she was like, I didn't like the seats we're sitting in. She moved us like a few seats over. Literally, we reached down and she pulls the golden ticket, and it's a golden ticket. It's like, you can meet Mark Hamill, blah blah blah. And literally, we went back there, and she's like, and we like kind of begged, like, is there any way we can both go back there? Because she found it, but I'm the one she was, well, no, you got to make a decision. So she's like, you're good to go. Because I'm the Star Wars fan. She came as a, very supportive girlfriend, now wife. And I got this print signed, obviously. They were giving it out. And it says, it's kind of like a curse word almost. Go force yourself. So that's like, I don't know. But it's signed. It says my name, for Scott. But the other thing I asked him to sign, because I had been carrying it around on me the entire time. And I think you'll get a kick out of this. Hold on. This is one thing I think I may part with one day, but I don't know if I want to. It is a signed Atari cartridge.
How can you part with that?
I know, that's my problem. I carry this around. I think it might be Coleco. It's Parker Vision. It's Parker Brothers. So who would this be?
No, Parker Brothers is the company that made it. Is it a ColecoVision cartridge?
I think it is ColecoVision. I don't think it's but it looks like the 2600 pin connector. Hold on, I gotta look this up. I really don't know for the most part because I have an Atari. I just don't
right
have
now.
a ColecoVision.
Mark is screaming. Of course, it's an Atari.
Oh, you're probably right. It is.
Mary, will you tell him, please?
It is a ColecoVision. That has answered an age-old question for me. A signed ColecoVision Mark
so you're
Hamill.
Gonna have to get yourself a ColecoVision.
That's it. I've got everything. I don't have ColecoVision. That's it. What is happening here?
What is that stream happening?
Yeah, you're right. Shit.
On the Bob Adcast live stream, you're gonna have to play that signed cartridge.
Oh,
see how far you can get.
But those are both deep honorable mentions. I'm trying to think of anything else.
So how do you have that displayed? Do you have that on a little plinth or?
I do. I have it over here resting against an N1 Starfighter and a boxed version of Majora's Mask. So there we go. But I didn't tell you this either. Before I collected, that actually was a collector at one point. I used to go to flea markets and thrift stores and everything I could to buy any old retro consoles or, whatever, controllers, adapters, all that stuff. And that was something I did for about 3 years seriously, but I kind of stopped. But I'm afraid my trip to Japan in 2 weeks is going to change that very abruptly.
So you just bring in just one change of clothes and the rest is all just empty suitcase space?
I'm not joking when I said I just ordered. You can buy vacuum sealing bags, but you can buy a little USB powered little vacuum and seal it. And I'm like, you can get 2 check bags at United for an international flight this big. So I've got a medium suitcase I'm bringing and then a large one that's going to be like the Russian doll. And that's going to have a boxed NES. I mean, you box Famicom, it's going to be bad. And I might pay for things to get shipped back. I don't know.
They're going to be scanning it and going and an intimate electron. No, it's I'm buying video games. It's for vacuum sealing. You don't understand. No,
you don't get me, man.
You'll see me when I come back. You'll see.
I'll be the king
of all these systems.
Oh man.
Is there anything Star Wars celebration wise that is on your would love to find while you're there list? Because you've been to a few celebrations now.
Yes, I've been to 3.
Do you have any specific celebration souvenirs? I always get a program because I got that program from the first one, and it's special to me to get a program or a shot glass or
the logo shirt. For some reason, all of the logo shirts don't really wear down. Isn't that weird? You would think they'd be cheaper, but they are pretty good fabric and material, and put them through the washer and dryer 100 times and nothing happens to them. So I have 2017 logo shirt. I don't think it fits me anymore, but I have 2019 that still fits, 2022 that still fits, and I'm gonna get, of course, 2025. I have to, but that's one of the few things I buy. I always buy at least 2 of the merchandise shirts. Usually, I bought the 20th Attack of the Clones one. Love that one. I don't know why I didn't buy the 20th Phantom Menace one, but
you didn't buy that
honestly
diner sign.
No, I didn't. That's a kidnap song classic. I'm
why
sure
that
he has
is not glowing behind him.
Don't know.
On his
couldn't tell you constantly. That's
should have
so
gotten
him
that for himself. Absolutely.
Literally, we got to find it. We got to go in halves on it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna surprise him.
By halves, you mean I'll $5-10? Oh, I'm in.
We'll get it crowdsourced.
You know what? I think your co-host on Bombay, Jerry,
yeah,
Jerry's gonna pay for
he's big bucks. He's got it. We'll do it.
In fact, I heard him
man.
say that he was totally going to get him that as a gift, and it would be really awkward if he didn't. Now that we've made it public that's a thing that Ken's going to get.
You shouldn't have said anything. That DM just leaked, man.
It's on me. You were very adamant about not revealing the secret, and I let it slip.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Jerry, and I'm sorry, Ken, for ruining it. But hey, at least you'll be able to definitely have that Dex's Diner sign glowing behind you.
We're good.
All your
problem solved.
Force Center and blathering casts and everything.
Guest appearances here.
Dex's Diner neon ASMR.
Oh, tapping the glass. No, but really in search for one particular thing, I like finding signed stuff Like, but I've only bought like one thing. I don't even think it's real. There's like I have 2 signed Rick McCallum things, but the signatures are both vastly different. So I think someone duped me at some point. And I just didn't know it.
But that's a weird one to do.
I know. So like, why would they
what's
do
the demand for Rick McCallum signed merch? That's going to be a thing where they go, you know what? We got to get some Rick offerings here.
I have a letter that was
why can't
signed
you
by Rick
just
McCallum.
send those pictures to his daughter and go, hey, is this your dad's signature?
But like,
or you don't want to know.
That's the thing. But I also don't want to be that guy.
You already are.
Shit, you're right. Damn it. Dude, Kim, we're having some deep realizations right now, man. I'm not liking it. Let me sleep, you know? Let me not toss and turn over this.
She must have some fascinating memories.
I could imagine.
She, and even more so than Rick, I think would be a fascinating person to talk to about what's the experience of being
a kid
who's growing up in like there's a magic store.
And your dad's the captain of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Whereas your dad is everybody going, they couldn't find the damn wig. They couldn't find the damn wig.
Liam's wig. Yeah, no, I wish there was other things that I gravitated towards though. You know, like I really want I like old posters, I will say that. I have a handful of old posters in the closet. This is so silly, but like my big plan is after I buy all this stuff from Japan, I want to completely remodel my office in the sense of like I have all my systems set up in like one small area, but I want it to be like a full. I don't know. I have ideas in my head churning, Ken.
I mean, you got a YouTube show. You're gonna get like the LED lighting and it turn into like a Star Wars vape shop.
That's perfect. This is the vape. How to convert your Galaxy's lightsaber to a massive bong.
Yeah, that Obi-Wan draw.
Oh man, this lightsaber's cached.
I'm sure that's been done.
Oh, 100%.
Force is strong with this one.
How to hollow out this lightsaber to make it a bong. The Knight loses my job as an educator.
3 million views on it.
That's right. Oh, that'd be sick, actually. Okay.
That's how you grow a channel.
Yeah. Former teacher rips lightsaber bong on live stream.
I mean, you're gonna have to get more cardboard cutouts. The Grievous has to make a return somehow.
That's right. That'll definitely show up.
You got the Opie that you're gonna hang from the ceiling, so it's floating in air with
one
the diving Qui-Gon.
You just made me realize it. If I can find it. If you can believe it, if I can find it, I want, and I know the sucker is no longer good. I don't care. I can melt it off. I want the Jar Jar sucker. I want where its mouth opens.
To display next to the C-3PO tape dispenser.
Yes, just the that. But like, I had one as a kid. I remember actually licking Jar Jar's tongue, and even as a kid, thinking this is a little odd. You know what I mean? His ribbed tongue, and I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. And like, who genuinely thought, oh, this is a brilliant idea?
I mean,
Rick was like, yeah, sign off on it.
Yeah, this is great. His many duties was that.
Is this for women?
Across his desk. Oh, he's good. What's the flavor?
I want a sample.
Yeah, kids don't like the sour apple.
Lucas licensing would have been Howard Rothman, I think, or maybe it was there was someone else at the time. Like, but someone.
That's who you need to have on. Have on to discuss the
Howard Rothman,
the Phantom Menace merchandise blitz of
who thought of this?
What? Yeah. Was there ever any point you went, are we doing too much?
Did you take it a little too far? Is there going
to be a demand for this?
Yeah, man.
You know, do we need to have Jar Jar in the meat market Pez dispenser?
The meat
is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Dispenser.
Have you seen that?
No.
That's the is it what's her name? Is it Gra?
What are you talking about?
In Phantom Menace, the butcher.
Oh, that lady. Yes. Whoopee. Yeah.
So there is with her.
Oh, yes, the
and
tongue.
Jar Jar.
The tongue. Yes. Sorry,
yes, the Pez dispenser that is automated.
and it moves it.
That is a tremendous piece of merch. And she's got the cleaver in her hand too, and the hanging pieces.
Perfect.
It just is.
Who thought of this? Again, I miss that version of capitalism just a little bit. I do. I'll say it.
I mean, there was so much enthusiasm to mine every single scene.
Just milk it, man. Just ruin it. You know?
And we don't get that fun from.
No, we don't get that anymore, man. The closest thing we got is Constable Zuvio, which I'm happy. You know, that's a weird Force Awakens thing that never happened. Cool.
But he exists.
He exists. Just like this podcast exists.
It does. You know what? And we
Beautiful.
exist. Speaking of existing, you and Ken Knapsack had on Force Center.
Yes.
Had a wonderful conversation about a topic that you're going to be doing a panel on at Celebration. On a topic that was very divisive. I wouldn't even say divisive, because it was very lopsided in how it was reading.
Not a soul liked it
when the Phantom Menace was released.
Yeah.
So your fascination and interest in the concept of midichlorians and its place within Star Wars, and also the gut response that people and misconception that people have had over the years about it.
So I for your listeners and viewers, I am currently presenting a panel at Star Wars Celebration on April 18th at 3 p.m. JST. You can do the conversion yourself at home, but you can find it. There's sites for it. I will be live streaming this panel, and there will be a recorded version of it as well that I'll post and publish with better audio and stuff like that. This is a passion project I've been working on for about 2 years now. 2023, I started writing it, but getting the opportunity to present it happened in 2024, February 24. I made a 2-hour long video essay, and I kind of quantified the theory of midichlorians down to 3 main branches of understanding. There's a philosophical understanding, there's a mythological understanding, there's a biological understanding, and then I included one now with my panel, which is more of an addendum. It's about an hour-long version of it, where I kind of take all my ideas, make it a little bit more concise, a little bit more straightforward, and it's called Midichlorians, an Alliance of Science, Magic, and Mythology. Science, mythology, and magic. Because people went into it, and I'm not saying you were one of them. People went into it instantly thinking and equating them to power levels, like a video game system. And understandably so, they were not presented that well in The Phantom Menace, but we're now 26 years away from that. And with supplemental material that has come out since, and of course George Lucas's own words, I find that midichlorians are one of the more fascinating nuances in all of Star Wars. They're kind of like the God molecule, in the sense of it being like they connect everything, they are everything. The whole balance of the Force is dependent on these things, and we've got characters that are born with a lot of them, other characters that are open to them, like Sabine Wren, and then other people that kind of manipulate them, like the Sith. So I took these ideas of midichlorians and I made it in a way that's much more digestible, and I don't really even address any of the concerns that people have going into it. It's more or less, this is what they are. If you choose to engage with it, you will get more out of it. But if you choose to negate it and challenge it and not really see it for what it is, then the panel's not. Yeah, dismiss it, right? The panel's not necessarily for you. But I think people that are finally willing to engage with a very high concept can now. And I know you probably listened to that episode. I don't know if you have yet, but if you haven't, the one between me and Ken, it's one of the better discussions I've had about it. Just because it's a very personal discussion, and it's not a crusade for me. I'm not like you, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. It's more or less, here's what they are truly laid out before you. However you interpret it is up to you, but it is so much deeper than just over 20,000. That's more than Master Yoda. That's pretty much the gist of it. It's more than that. It's so much more than that. It's very real, very personal.
I mean, it was speaking at the time, it was one of those things that was Phantom Menace is a massive lore dump.
Yes.
And there was a lot of things of it. You got to remember at the time, this was like the dawning of the midnight lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And for some weeks before that, but it was everyone, the anticipation. So, and you have no leaks about anything that's happening. No, other than toys and a soundtrack that was and a few track titles that are
a little bit
awkward. You went in cold only with a generation's worth of anticipation built up.
Yeah.
And your own theories and beliefs and what, or just, it was all an expectation game that no one could win in any truly effective way that would be universal to an entire audience.
Mm-hmm.
So it was already backfooted the moment it started playing.
Yeah, instantly.
And it was also the dawn of internet commentary culture, which was savage to anything that it couldn't fully process.
Mm-hmm.
The discourse was already toxic then.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you had that generation who were children were not exactly terribly mature in the age that they were in encountering something that I wouldn't say challenged. I think that the challenge that Phantom Menace presented was to expand your acceptance and understanding of what George's storytelling was trying to get across and what was important to him. And that ultimately, as one of the last truly independent films on a scale that we'll probably never see again.
Exactly.
Is wholly unique to have a passion project that is also a blockbuster cultural statement. And
it's insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm so glad you brought that up, because personally, this is the last of that movie ever. I mean, that's the last one we'll ever see it, because like, what's the backlash of Jar Jar came out, and midichlorians, like those things both took the back burner in the next two movies when we were told it was going to be a big central part of it, right? And it does make me sad to know that just because of fan reception, it made the creator of the series second guess himself. And that's kind of sad. It's unfortunate.
But that weird, reflexive, awful, toxic backlash continues to this day.
Yes.
Because now George has been transformed because the focus of their ire has shifted elsewhere. Now he has been recast in their minds as the great maker, the greatest of all, and
did no wrong,
did no wrong, and they've ruined everything, everything he wanted to do. They've done nothing but desecrate. And it's certainly, I'm sure there's also
the cycle.
There's a deeper discussion, I'm sure, that can be had on the fracturing of faith into different sects within it,
dude. And look, and that's the thing.
How fandom is a representation of how
there is a way you could track it, and I agree, because
who are the Lutherans? Who are the ones who are the ones?
Yeah. We're the prequelists, and we only like the prequels, but the original trilogy is okay too. But like, and Rogue One's fine. Like, I always love the justification. Like, I hate everything. I hate all the new stuff. But the Mandalorian and Rogue One are great. I'm like, well, you don't hate everything then.
We're the expanded universalists.
But like, if I'm anything, I'm the midichlorian forerunner. Like, I'm tired of people in their own way making them seem less than what they actually are as a narrative device. And I know it's silly, but it's not a crusade. Like I said, it's more or less, this is really what they are. If you choose not to engage with it, that's you. But you also shouldn't choose to not at least give it a little bit of research.
Well, I think the brilliant thing that the conversation with Ken sets up as your approach to presentation of that panel that people that you said were going to be able to experience afterwards on a scale outside of that room.
Yes.
Is that it is presented as you make your own mind up about how you want to take in this information and process
Yes.
this if you choose to engage with it. And it's
Yes.
fine if you don't. You're not proselytizing
No. In
for
no
it.
way.
It's more, hey, here's context. You want to engage with it? Fine. I'm not losing sleep over it if you're not going to, but at least here is the information to make a reasoned and rational assessment of the entirety of this concept that he was trying to present.
I don't want it to be scary for people anymore. And I know that sounds silly, but like,
You mean so you can't even say the word?
no,
That it has to, that it still holds the power of being shielded behind
M count.
count.
Ooh, it's like, I know it's silly, and I'm never one to complain, but there's something to be said about like, just go out and say it. Number one, but number two, like, I'm not saying what I've made should change the zeitgeist of people's thoughts of it. I think it's now a way to understand it better and to accept it.
And I treat the prequels, I think, are, from a filmmaking perspective, they are a rough ride.
Sure.
In a lot of ways. And I think I think that's the part where people have trouble sort of meshing the two ideas of, hey, okay, that may be an aspect of it, but what are the ideas that he was trying to explore? And maybe let's talk about that as a thing that is an interesting discussion to have, because there is a deeper level there. And you can say that there might be some clumsy presentation to it. There might, directing, production, whatever aspects, but that's divorced from what he was not divorced. That is a complement to another aspect of it that should be at least addressed, divorced from the ire that you feel towards that other aspect of it.
25 years, man. 25 years is a long time to kind of chew and sit on something.
Hope people just relax.
I do too.
That's my own personal zen of coming, and believe me, it's been a journey.
Yeah.
I was in that theater and I had those expectations, but I also sat through in that moment of people like having lightsaber fights in front of the screen at the beginning and all this excitement, and you could see the energy fall off a cliff as the audience was just baffled. And that was the general vibe in the room was, what is going on? Because the film dives right into the deep end with
instantly.
You're either rolling with this or you're gonna have an issue with a lot of stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget, on the other side of that, just the quiet of all these people who had waited for hours for a midnight show in this small little theater in a small town, that were then, what just happened? Because we also had just come off both the high and the cognitive dissonance of trying to process the special editions.
Yes.
Which already set up the idea of, wait a minute, I have questions about some of this. There's still people that bring up Jedi rocks and they,
I don't mind
a shadow comes over.
The one I don't like, if I'm going to be frank with you, and I maybe I could write the next thing on this. As I do not like the Jabba reveal being in the fourth movie, because the other two movies build up to Jabba, and I see you have your Jabbas behind you, but like it's this big dumbass slug guy. Because in A New Hope he's a goofball. He's getting his his tail stepped on.
And also the CG was not to the level. So you have a much better looking version of the thing that comes later.
Yes.
So it doesn't even, so you already have the mental leap to try and somehow square the two of those.
Yes. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And then you're right.
And there's a reason why scenes were cut. There's a reason why, Marcia Lucas is in there going, we don't need this scene, George. It's also,
doesn't do anything.
Finish. It's a Scottish guy walking around in his furs. we don't need, it does nothing for the pacing and the plot at this moment.
Not necessary.
And it still does nothing. But I also would love to have a deeper conversation of some of that stuff. I contend was just put in because you needed something to be a hook to draw people in that was new.
Yep.
And they needed a proof of concept of doing the digital characters.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, hey, can we have a big scene
And make it
like
look good.
this where he's interacting with a main character that we know and have an attachment to? Will the audience buy into this?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the special editions are R&D
Yeah, they are.
as much as anything else,
Yeah.
and proof of concept for what they were going to try and do. But yeah, that the Jabba scene,
That's it.
It didn't help. It honestly just didn't help how bad he looked.
Yes.
Both in the version we saw in theaters and then the revised version is
The
still
2011 Blu-ray.
wonky.
Yeah, it just does. And like, I know, but I can move past it. And I have moved past it. It's not something I harp on anymore. But midichlorians is something that I think obviously have a lot more nuance, and they've been expanded on in other material. So there's something to be said about being able to now take a topic and a bit of lore and finally be able to go, well, this is not to say this is what he was trying to say, but this is what it was directly saying. So thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that.
I'm looking forward to watching the presentation from Celebration when it's made available. And also, I encourage everyone right now, don't have to wait for that. Go watch the conversation with Ken Knapsack
It's beautiful
on the Force Center channel as a prelude for when the other drops. So when are you making the midichlorian t-shirts?
I need to make a Got Milk one, but it's a Got midichlorians. But yeah, no, I don't know. I need to make one. Yeah, what's your M count? God, that's funny. That's fantastic.
Are you gonna can you print out? I'm sure someone must have modeled the scanner to do a 3D print of that scanner that Obi-Wan uses to run the sample.
Oh, you're right. There's got to be one.
You gotta be walking around Celebration with that in your hip pocket, right?
Oh yeah, it's in my pocket. I'm just gonna poke kids with it. Give me your blood.
What type of Gillette razor is it?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Now I gotta find it. That's the Comtech. I gotta bring my Comtech.
Well, you should bring your Comtech anyway. How else are you gonna get the figures to talk to you?
The Darth Maul lines that don't exist.
Yeah, by not Peter Serafinowicz.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, I'm a Sith.
The tone poem. Remember the tone poem one?
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? Let's hear some of the Sidious lines. You do some of the Sidious lines as Paul Stanley.
God, I gotta try to find it. This is the line. It's a great line. Fear. Where's that? Oh, damn it! Where'd it go? It's Darth Maul. Right? Fear. Fear tracks the fearful, the strong, the weak, the innocent, the corrupt. Fear is my ally. Oh.
But that sounds like it should be shouted as like a death metal song, right?
Yes, Han mi Buki.
There's no job at Comtech. He doesn't say.
No, there is no. Gotcha.
But we can say it as Mark Hamill. Han mi Buki.
Han mi Buki.
I'm Jabba the Hutt.
You're doing good, Mark Hamill.
It's older Mark Hamill. It's very clear that it is
2018 Mark.
Like in some power converters. It's not that one. It's
that's squeaky.
There's a beautiful story that a friend of mine told. It was at a party with Mark, and a much younger Nathan Hamill was also there. Like this is when Nathan was maybe in his early 20s at most.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time he had ever encountered Mark Hamill. He was at this party, and all he sees is just Mark Hamill in the different distance, just making his way with purpose through this crowd and looking slightly frantic. Again, he never met. And he starts hearing, Nathan.
That's good.
Nathan. And he's like getting closer. It's like almost a Mark Hamill Doppler effect of this sound approaching him. And he's like, and he comes up to him, never met. Have you seen Nathan? And he's like, no.
Sir.
Nathan! And he just wanders out, and it's just the sound recedes as
That's beautiful.
And that was his encounter with Mark Hamill.
Like when you meet a whale on the ocean.
So that's my go-to. Nathan.
That's good, kid. Oh, I love this. I gotta thank you. I've had a really good time being on this show with you, but this is absolutely
Thank you
fantastic.
for being on the show.
Of course.
And now all your objects know that you have judged them, and they
Yes.
know that their place within your collection. Some of
That's I don't
them
have to kiss him
feeling
anymore. Make him feel
feeling
equal.
bad about it,
Come here,
and you have plans
Obi-Wan.
of action now.
I do.
So you're
That's
gonna
it.
get that cake recreation done with it
Yes.
properly fixed, nice display on that.
Yes.
You're gonna get that midichlorian scanner
That's it.
reproduction for celebration.
Take blood tests of little children. Come here, little kid.
You're gonna have to get at least one action figure.
I do. Reuse. I want to get. I like the Jabas you got. I like those are both Black Series Jabas, right?
No, one is
Oh
this
no,
is the
I'm
new
wrong.
TVC Java right here.
Oh, okay.
And then
Okay.
that's the Black Series. That's fun to talk with.
Man, I bet.
Because it's got
I want the slime Jabba. That's what I'm going to give. The one that throws up the slime. There we go. Yeah, just blah.
because I just picked this up as
I
a
love
thing.
that.
Jabba glove with a
Oh, Jabba glove.
and also
wow.
not the most pleasant of Jabba sculpts.
No, looks like my grandmother.
Oh, Scotty Mabuki.
My bookie. Oh, that's hilarious.
He's
God,
yeah, the pictures on the back are not.
Cause like, whoa, he can throw up. Rip his head off.
This is
put
awful.
Goo in and squeeze him. Blah.
What that kid doesn't know is that one day his mother's going to donate that.
Yeah, assholes. Squeeze the ooze.
Also, I got to open up just to get that little dehydrated block.
Yes,
that's in there.
Oh, what's rehydrated?
Not a food item. Just to be clear,
cannot be consumed.
Not a food item. And I'm not. Are they talking about the glob or the Jabba?
Ooh, good question.
Oh,
yum. Well, it makes me want to eat it now.
Right? Also, that is a completely different color.
It is.
Now none of this is pleasant. Squeeze the Hutt's head to ooze his slimy treat.
Nothing is more 90s than that. Not a thing.
I mean, you got to get this, right?
You got to catch them all, dude.
Here's the Jabba Glob. He's one hungry Hutt. Please the mighty Hutt by feeding him his favorite snack, Jabba Glob. This dripping, frog-filled delicacy is found only on Jabba's home planet. Jabba's home planet of Tatooine.
Wrong. Canon, not canon.
Be sure not to eat any yourself. Glob is for Hutts, not humans.
That's incredible. Oh my God. Thank you for that.
Ate an entire jar of that Jabba.
I just drank the spittle from Jabba's mouth.
This is how I become him.
All kinds of things in there. You can put all kinds of weird stuff in there now that I think about it.
It's like
Make
pizza
him throw
dough.
Up mud. Oh, yes. Make him throw up Paul's pizza dough. Blech.
So that's it. So that's my challenge to you. Is it celebration?
Find that son of a bitch.
Or you have to find a Jabba.
Okay, we'll do.
I'm putting you on a Jabba hunt.
I can do that.
Celebration.
Kid. That's it.
I figured it out. And it can be anything, but it just has to involve Jabba.
That's it. Yes, sir. My sergeant norms.
Where should everyone find you?
You can find me
on this fractured social ecosystem that we have now.
The Bombadcast is my channel. The BOMBADCAST. Bombadcast. Obviously, Jar Jar's in our logo. You can find me there. We go live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we do that every Thursday talking about various things. It can always be something different. This week, I don't know when you're going to drop this episode we're recording currently.
Probably
but we're going to
tonight.
Okay, beautiful. Because the name of the next one this is a absolutely absurd name because it's something we came up with a few weeks ago. We just didn't act on it. It's called Kathleen Kennedy, no longer president, ? Scotty and Jerry steal her election. So it's about the idea of we're going to be talking about our heist plans. Like, how will we steal Kathleen Kennedy's election? Frank Marshall's involved. George Lucas is involved. And I'm gonna rope down at some point, grab. So that's this Thursday. But I mean,
I think Willard Pike has to be involved too, right?
Yes, 100%. And it's directed by Steven Soderbergh, so it's going to be great. We're going to steal Kathleen Kennedy's election, but we're also going to talk about the controversy and like the Deadline article. So we have some serious stuff in there, but it's always going to be funny. You got to be funny. You got to make people laugh. Find us there.
You've had nice reflections on previous celebrations recently.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. We have
VHS tapes, and
yes, we have serious moments, but most importantly, we do have a lot of fun. And you can follow me on Blue Sky. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me a lot of different places. But social media to me is just a tool to get these things out. I've never seen social media as like this is an end all be all. Like it's where people should find my thoughts. My thoughts are on these shows. So that's pretty much it, Ken.
Your thoughts are on your shirt right now. Let's be honest.
Yes. How we doing?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Portel.
He's basically the Brack of Kiss, right?
Oh, yes, 100%. Yes. How are we doing? I love Hello Kitty.
Shout out to Andy Merrill. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
I hope everyone has enjoyed this show as much as I've enjoyed having Scotty on. If you do enjoy the show, there's a Patreon you can go to, patreon.com/Ken Plume. That helps keep things going. There's a bunch of exclusives you get at just the $1 level. Tons of interviews that I've done and features and quiz shows with a lot of amazing guests. There's just a ton of content on there that would be really super swell if people actually went there and supported that. Or just the like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. You can find all of my social contacts on the link tree that's in the description. Everything would be swell. Any kind of support is totally awesome in these times that we find ourselves in. And thank you for joining us on Force 5. Go check out the other ones and go check out everything that Scotty does and be prepared to get your midi-chlorian count to find out if you're special or not. No. And just how special, because it is a power ranking. It was all a joke on you.
He duped me.
Bye, everybody.
Your lightsaber bong.
Oh, and as you said, stay Bombat. See, I got it there. You can pull the clip. I'll send you the invoice later. Bye, everybody. Do the fake wave.